because she can cover a lot of ground. A lot of times, the guards that are guarding Caitlin, they're normally her height, maybe a little shorter. But when you got somebody like a DeWanna Barner, who's 6'4" tall, who can slide, who's effortless, she kind of reminds you she's kind of built like a female version of Scottie Pippen. You see how long and angular she are? She can meet her at the point. She can contest shots without fouling.
Sparking a conversation that seemed to outgrow the moment itself. Two elite athletes from two distinct worlds found themselves in a clash, not just of basketball skills, but of personalities, intensity, and most surprisingly, decorum. Carrington's actions were scrutinized, debated, and analyzed, with many asking where the line between fierce competition and outright aggression should be drawn. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Caitlin Clark, known for her impressive on-court prowess and ability to dominate games with a smoothness that borders on arrogance, found herself on the receiving end of a more physical expression of competitiveness. Carrington, who had long built her brand as a tough, no-nonsense player, decided that this particular moment called for something more than just a solid defensive stance. What happened next was the stuff of social media legend, whether she had intended it or not. But here's the thing about Carrington. She has never been one to shy away from controversy, and perhaps that's why this moment, as shocking as it may have been, felt somewhat fitting. She plays with an edge, the kind that makes her a menace on defense and a problem for anyone trying to establish themselves on the floor. Her presence is felt in every game she plays, and she's unapologetic about it. For Carrington, basketball isn't just a game of skill, it's a test of will. That's what makes her such a formidable player, but also what has made this particular incident such a talking point. On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is no stranger to the spotlight. With a swagger that's become her trademark, Clark's game is built on finesse, precision, and an almost effortless ability to control the tempo. She's not the kind of player who backs down from a challenge, and anyone familiar with her knows that she's more than capable of giving as good as she gets. But in this instance, Clark was the one left reacting, caught off guard by Carrington's sudden escalation. What's interesting about this situation is that it speaks to the larger dynamics of competition, especially in women's sports. The level of physicality displayed by Carrington was not unheard of in basketball, but it was the context that made it a flashpoint. Women's sports are often held to a different standard, where displays of aggression are either celebrated as long overdue or condemned as unbecoming. And that's where things get complicated. On one hand, fans love the fire Carrington brings. Her defensive tenacity is unmatched, and it's clear that she's willing to do whatever it takes to get under her opponent's skin. But there's a fine line between being an irritant and being reckless. The larger implication of this event is how it might influence the way we talk about competition in women's sports. There's a growing demand for women athletes to be allowed to compete with the same level of intensity and aggression as their male counterparts. And yet, when that intensity spills over into something more confrontational, it's often met with a different kind of criticism. Carrington, in many ways, is emblematic of the new breed of athletes who are unafraid to blur the lines between sportsmanship and competitiveness. She's not the type to fade into the background or play it safe. And while this incident has certainly put her under a harsher spotlight than usual, it also reinforces the idea that she's someone who refuses to conform to the expectations placed upon her. That, in itself, is why Carrington remains such a compelling figure in the sport. It's not often that a player as composed as Clark finds themselves in that position, and it will be interesting to see how she uses this experience moving forward. Clark's game is built on poise, but Carrington's aggression may have given her a glimpse of what it's like when the other side isn't playing by the same rules. What's no denying that it added a layer of drama to the game that goes beyond the typical highlight reel plays. It was a moment that forced everyone watching to reconsider what they expect from athletes and what they're willing to tolerate. For Carrington, the road ahead will be interesting. For her will be finding that balance between playing with passion and ensuring that it doesn't spill over into something that damages her reputation or, worse, her team's chances on the court. As for the broader basketball community, this moment will likely be remembered as a turning point, a moment when how we view female athletes, their competitiveness, and the standards we hold them to will all be influenced by this one moment of aggression on the court. In the end, the Carrington-Clark incident isn't just a story about a single play. It's a reflection of the evolving nature of sports, where athletes are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable in pursuit of greatness. Carrington's aggression may have drawn backlash, but it also served as a reminder that the game is played with intensity, emotion, and sometimes a little more physicality than we're comfortable with. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.